Okay, so are you ready to like really unpack happiness? Not just, the surface level stuff, but like a truly fulfilling life?
Yeah.
Well, today we're going to be diving deep into an article all about it, the science of well-being.
Mm.
It's got all these evidence-based strategies that you can actually use.
Cool.
And it's really not about chasing those fleeting moments of happiness.
Right.
It's more about like building a whole garden of well-being.
That's a great analogy.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And what's so interesting about this article is it goes beyond the usual, like, just be happy advice.
Okay.
It really dives into the science of what actually leads to, like, lasting well-being.
Hmm.
And some of the findings are kind of surprising.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Like, for starters, it challenges the idea that just pursuing happiness is, like, the key.
It's interesting.
It suggests that actually constantly chasing those good vibes might backfire.
Really?
Yeah, and it could lead to, like, less satisfaction overall.
Huh.
Like running on a treadmill, you're putting in all this effort but not really getting anywhere.
So instead of chasing happiness, what should we be focusing on then?
Well, the article suggests focusing on building a life that's rich in well-being.
Okay.
And it introduces this framework called the PERMA model.
PERMA.
Yeah,
Okay.
to help us kind of understand what that actually looks like.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Break it down for me.
Okay, so PERMA stands for positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
It is, but each of these elements, contributes independently to our overall well-being.
So it's not just about like feeling happy all the time.
Exactly. It's about, like, cultivating a life that kind of encompasses all of these elements. It's
Yeah.
about, finding joy in our daily activities, connecting with others in meaningful ways,
Mm-mm.
finding purpose in, like, what we do,
Yeah.
and, feeling a sense of accomplishment.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this is different from just chasing those fleeting moments of happiness.
Yeah.
So let's dive into each of these PERMA elements a bit more. Starting with positive emotion, what does the article say about that?
So the article explains that positive emotions are more than just, those fleeting feelings of happiness.
Okay.
They include things like joy,
Uh-huh.
gratitude, serenity, interest, hope,
Right.
pride, amusement,
Okay.
inspiration, awe, and love.
Wow, that's quite a list.
It is.
So it's not just about being happy-go-lucky all the time. It's
Mhm.
about like experiencing this whole spectrum of positive emotions.
Exactly. And the article highlights that cultivating these positive emotions is something we can actually, like, actively work on,
Hmm.
not just something that, like, happens to us.
I like that.
Yeah.
Puts us back in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
So how about engagement? What does that entail?
Okay, so engagement is all about being fully absorbed in what you're doing,
Okay.
whether it's a hobby, your work,
Uh-huh.
or even like a conversation.
Okay.
The article calls it flow.
Flow. Yeah.
Yeah, that state where you, like, lose track of time because you're so engrossed in the activity.
Ugh, I totally get that. It's like when I'm writing a really good script
Yeah.
and the hours just fly by like I'm in the zone.
Exactly. And cultivating that sense of engagement is key to a fulfilling life.
Okay, so we've got positive emotions and engagement.
Uh-huh.
What's next on the PERMA list?
Relationships.
Relationship.
And I think we all intuitively know how important those are.
You're telling me.
Right.
But what does the science say about the connection between relationships and well-being?
Well, the article actually dives into the research.
Okay.
And it's pretty astounding.
Hmm.
Strong social connections are linked to a longer and happier life.
Oh, wow.
And get this, the article says it's more important than factors like genetics,
Really?
social class, or even IQ.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
So those deep connections with family, friends,
Yeah.
and even our communities are like really vital to our well-being.
Absolutely. And the article refers to it as, like, social fitness.
Social fitness.
Yeah.
I like that.
Highlighting the need to invest in these connections, just like we invest in our physical health.
Love that analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered positive emotion, engagement, and relationships.
Uh-huh.
What about meaning? This one seems a bit trickier to define.
Yeah, meaning is all about finding purpose in life,
Okay.
connecting with something bigger than ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It could be through our work,
Right.
our relationships, our hobbies, or our contributions to society.
So it's about feeling like your life has a sense of direction
Yes.
and significance.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the article suggests that finding meaning is essential for lasting well-being.
Mm.
It helps us make sense of our experiences,
Right.
find motivation and resilience,
Mm-hmm.
and feel like we're part of something larger.
Okay, so how do we actually go about finding that sense of meaning? Does the article give any suggestions?
It does. We'll dig into those specific strategies in a bit.
Okay.
But the key takeaway is that meaning is something we cultivate,
Hmm.
not something that just like falls into our lap.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got 4 elements of the PERMA model down. Positive emotions, engagement, relationships, and meaning.
Uh-huh.
What's the final piece of the puzzle?
Accomplishment.
Accomplishment.
This is about setting goals and striving to achieve them,
Okay.
whether those goals are big or small.
So it's that feeling of satisfaction you get when you check something off your to-do list,
Yeah,
or maybe achieve a long-term goal.
exactly. It's about feeling a sense of competence and mastery.
Okay.
And the article highlights that this sense of accomplishment is like a key ingredient in a fulfilling life.
Okay, so the PERMA model gives us this really comprehensive picture of well-being.
It does.
It's not just about feeling good.
right.
It's about living a life that's rich in positive emotions, engagement, meaningful relationships,
Huh?
a sense of purpose, and a feeling of accomplishment.
Exactly.
Wow.
And what's great about this model is that it provides a roadmap for actually improving our well-being.
I like that.
It's not just a theoretical concept. It's something we can actively work towards.
So we know the key elements of well-being, but now I'm really curious about the how.
The how, yeah.
What are some of the specific strategies the article suggests for actually leveling up our well-being in each of these areas?
That's where the real magic happens.
Okay.
The article dives into this whole toolkit of evidence-based strategies,
Hmm.
and we'll start exploring those in our next segment.
Okay, I'm ready to get practical, bring on the tools.
Right.
Okay, so we've unpacked this whole PERMA model,
Right.
and we know what makes up like a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
But now I'm curious, how do we actually like cultivate these elements?
Yeah, how do we do it?
Give me the actionable steps.
Well, the article doesn't disappoint.
Oh, okay.
It's packed with strategies, each backed by research.
Hmm.
But first, remember that concept of hedonic adaptation we talked about.
Right. The idea that we kind of get used to things over time,
Yeah.
even good things, and the
Yeah.
excitement fades.
Exactly. And it
Mhm.
kind of highlights why focusing just on like external achievements
Uh-huh.
or possessions for happiness
Okay.
doesn't always work in the long run.
Yeah, like that brand new car feeling
Yeah,
eventually wears off.
exactly.
Okay, so how do we like break free from that cycle of adaptation and find more enduring well-being?
That's where these strategies come in.
Okay.
They help us shift our focus,
Hmm.
build resilience,
Okay.
and experience genuine, lasting well-being.
Okay, let's get specific.
Okay,
Which strategy should we unpack first?
let's revisit gratitude.
Okay, gratitude.
We already talked about its power,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
but the article goes deeper and introduces this fascinating technique
Okay.
called negative visualization.
I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah.
It sounded almost counterintuitive.
It is, but in a good way.
Okay.
So instead of focusing on what we're grateful for,
Mm.
we imagine like losing something we value.
So like instead of being thankful for my home,
Yeah.
I'd imagine being homeless.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds kind of intense.
It can be, but the article explains that by like briefly contemplating the absence of something.
Okay.
Our appreciation for what we have actually intensifies.
Hmm.
It's like this mental shift
Yeah.
that can boost gratitude in a powerful way.
Interesting. It makes you really confront like what you'd be missing.
Yeah.
Are there any other examples of negative visualization in the article?
Yeah, there's one about health.
Okay.
Imagine you lost the ability to walk.
Okay.
Suddenly, that simple act of walking to the kitchen
Right.
to get a cup of coffee
Yeah.
feels like a privilege, not a chore.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this could be a powerful exercise.
Yeah.
It's like hitting the reset button on our appreciation for like the good things in our lives.
Precisely. And it's not about dwelling on the negative.
Right.
It's just a brief mental exercise to enhance gratitude.
Besides like negative visualization, are there any other gratitude boosting tips from the article?
Yeah. So keeping a gratitude journal where you regularly write down things you're grateful for is a classic technique.
That one's pretty popular,
It is.
but does it actually work?
Research suggests it does.
Okay.
Regularly reflecting on and writing about what we're grateful for
Mm-hmm.
can shift our focus to the positive,
Right.
leading to increased feelings of happiness and well-being.
Okay, I'm willing to give it a try.
Yeah.
What else does the article suggest?
Another powerful practice is savoring.
Savoring.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Okay, so savoring is about like consciously appreciating
Okay.
and extending those positive experiences. It's like when you have a delicious meal
Okay.
and instead of just wolfing it down,
Uh-huh.
you slow down,
Right.
you savor each bite
Yeah.
and really appreciate the flavors.
Ah, so it's about being present in the moment
Yeah.
and like truly experiencing those positive feelings
Yeah,
instead of letting them slip away unnoticed.
exactly. And the article offers some specific tips for savoring.
Okay, like what?
One is sharing those positive experiences with others.
Okay.
Telling a friend about something good that happened
Mhm.
actually amplifies those feelings of joy.
So it's like reliving the experience
Yeah.
and getting like a double dose of happiness.
Precisely, another tip is focusing on the sensory details.
Okay.
When you're experiencing something you enjoy,
Yeah.
really pay attention to the sights, sounds, smells, and textures.
Mm,
It helps to ground you in the present moment
right.
and intensify your appreciation.
So like if I'm having that delicious meal,
Yeah.
I'd really focus on the aroma,
Yeah,
the presentation, the different flavors, the
Yeah.
texture of the food in my mouth.
exactly.
It's like mindful eating
Yes,
for any positive experience.
you got it. And for truly special moments, the article suggests taking like mental snapshots
Okay.
or even jotting down notes to
Mhm.
capture those details.
I love that it's like creating a mental photo album,
Yeah.
happy memories that you can revisit
Exactly.
whenever you need a boost.
It's all about building up this reserve of positive experiences
Right.
that can help us navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life.
These are great strategies.
Yeah,
And I'm starting to see how they connect back to that idea of hedonic adaptation
right.
by actively practicing gratitude and savoring.
Uh-huh.
We're essentially like rewiring our brains
Yeah.
to appreciate and hold on to those good feelings
Yeah.
instead of letting them fade into the background.
You nailed it. And this brings us to another important aspect of well-being,
Okay.
cultivating a positive mindset.
Okay. But before we dive into that, I have a question.
Okay?
We've been talking a lot about focusing on the positive.
Yeah.
But what about like those negative emotions
Yeah.
that inevitably pop up? Are
Yeah.
we just supposed to like ignore them?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And the article addresses this directly.
Okay.
It emphasizes that cultivating a positive mindset
Mm-hmm.
isn't about like denying or suppressing those negative emotions.
So it's not about putting on a happy face and pretending everything's perfect.
Not at all. It's about acknowledging those difficult feelings,
Okay.
but choosing to focus on like solutions and possibilities.
Mm.
It's about recognizing that setbacks are a natural part of life
Right.
and viewing them as opportunities for growth.
I like that reframing, seeing challenges as opportunities.
Yep.
So how do we actually like shift our mindset to be more positive?
One of the key techniques the article highlights is reframing those negative thoughts.
Okay.
So when you find yourself dwelling on something negative,
Mm-hmm.
try to challenge those thoughts and look for a more positive interpretation.
So instead of saying I'm terrible at this,
Yeah.
I'd say I'm still learning and I'm getting better every day.
Exactly. It's about shifting your perspective
Mm.
and looking for the silver lining, even in challenging situations.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What are some other strategies for cultivating a positive mindset?
Another powerful technique is focusing on our strengths.
Okay.
We all have unique talents and abilities, and reminding ourselves of those strengths
Mm-hmm.
can boost our confidence
Yeah.
and help us approach challenges with a more optimistic outlook.
It's like giving ourselves a pep talk.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm good at this. I can handle this.
And don't underestimate the power of positive self-talk.
Mm.
Instead of beating yourself up for mistakes,
Right.
try offering yourself words of encouragement and support.
Okay.
Treat yourself with the same kindness and compassion
Yeah.
you would extend to a friend.
That's a good reminder. We often tend to be much harder on ourselves
Yeah,
than we would be on anyone else.
it's true. And building a positive mindset is an ongoing process.
Right.
It's like exercising a muscle. The more we practice, the stronger it becomes.
Okay, so we've talked about gratitude,
Huh.
savoring, and positive thinking.
Yeah.
What about those other two elements of the PERMA model,
Yeah.
meaning an accomplishment?
Right.
What strategies does the article suggest for those?
Those are great areas to explore next.
Okay,
Let's shift gears a bit and delve into the realm of meaning and purpose.
I'm ready for it. Okay, so we've covered gratitude and savoring and positive thinking, but there's like still so much to explore in this article on the science of well-being.
Right.
I'm especially curious about how to like cultivate those bigger picture elements of the PERMA model,
Yeah.
meaning and accomplishment.
Those are essential pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
Let's start with meaning.
Okay. Yeah.
The article emphasizes that connecting with something larger than ourselves, something that gives our lives direction and significance,
Okay.
is a key ingredient for lasting well-being.
I can see how that would be true. Like, feeling like your life has a purpose
Yeah,
can be incredibly motivating and fulfilling.
it is.
But how do we actually find that meaning?
Right.
It's not like there's a step-by-step guidebook
No.
for finding your life's purpose.
You're right, it's not always a straightforward path.
Yeah.
But the article does offer some helpful suggestions.
Okay. Like what?
One is to connect with your values. What's truly important to you?
Okay.
What principles guide your decisions and actions?
So things like honesty, kindness, creativity, or maybe even a sense of adventure.
Exactly. Identifying those core values can provide a compass for navigating life's choices
Okay.
and finding activities and pursuits that feel genuinely meaningful.
So it's like aligning your actions with your beliefs.
Yeah.
So you're living in a way that feels authentic and purposeful.
That's a great way to put it. Another suggestion the article makes
Right.
is to contribute to something larger than yourself.
Okay. So something bigger than yourself.
This could involve volunteering your time,
Uh-huh.
donating to a cause you care about,
Right.
or even just being a supportive friend or family member.
So it's about making a positive impact on the world around you, however big or small.
Exactly. And the article suggests that even simple acts of kindness can contribute to a sense of meaning and purpose.
Okay.
Like holding the door for someone,
Yeah.
offering a genuine compliment, helping a neighbor with their groceries.
Yeah.
These small gestures can ripple outward and create a more positive and connected community.
So it's not necessarily about those like grand sweeping gestures.
Right.
It's about finding ways to make a difference
Yeah.
in your own little corner of the world.
Absolutely. And the article emphasizes that finding meaning is often a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
It's something we continuously cultivate and refine
Right.
throughout our lives as we grow and evolve.
That makes sense. Our values and priorities might shift over time.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Right.
What matters is being open to exploring what feels meaningful at each stage of our lives.
Exactly. Now let's move on to the final elements of the PERMA model.
Okay.
Accomplishment.
Accomplishment.
The article highlights the importance of setting goals
Right.
and striving to achieve them, whether those goals are big or small.
This one resonates with me.
Yeah.
I love that feeling of satisfaction you get.
When you check something off your to-do list
Yeah.
or achieve a long-term goal.
It's a powerful motivator.
It is.
And the article suggests that setting meaningful goals,
Okay.
goals that align with our values and passions,
Right.
is key to feeling a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment.
So it's not just about setting any old goal. It's about choosing goals that really matter to us, goals that inspire and excite us.
Exactly. And the act of pursuing those goals, even if we don't always reach them,
Right.
can bring a sense of purpose and direction to our lives.
Yeah.
It's about having something to strive for, something that gives us a sense of forward momentum.
And sometimes those goals might lead us outside our comfort zones, right?
Absolutely. Trying new things,
Yeah.
taking on challenges, expanding our horizons
Okay.
can lead to unexpected discoveries
Right.
and help us tap into like hidden talents and passions.
So it's not just about achieving those external markers of success.
It's about embracing growth and evolution, both personally and professionally.
That's a great way to sum it up. And remember, just like finding meaning, cultivating a sense of accomplishment is an ongoing process.
Right.
It's about continuously setting new goals, challenging ourselves,
Yeah.
and celebrating our progress along the way.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
It has.
We've explored the science of well-being, uncovered the key elements of the PERMA model,
Right.
and learned about so many practical strategies for creating a happier and more fulfilling life.
Absolutely.
And as we wrap up, I think the biggest takeaway is that well-being isn't some like elusive state of perfection. It's a journey that we're all on.
Yeah.
And it's about making conscious choices each day that nurture our physical, mental, and emotional health.
It's about building that garden of well-being,
Right.
one seed at a time.
Whether it's practicing gratitude, savoring positive experiences, cultivating a positive mindset, connecting with our values, contributing to something larger than ourselves, or setting meaningful goals.
Absolutely.
There are so many ways to cultivate a life that feels good on the inside and out.
And remember, you don't have to do it alone.
Right.
There are resources, communities, and people
Yeah.
who can support you on your journey.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the science of well-being.
It was my pleasure.
We hope you found it insightful and empowering.
Yes.
Until next time, keep cultivating those good vibes.